Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 7, Text 14. Translation. My dear great and powerful Lord Shiva, you were created first from the mouth of Lord Brahma in order to protect the Brahmanas in pursuing education, austerities, vows, and self-realization. As protector of the Brahmanas, you always protect the regulative principles they follow, just as a cowherd boy keeps a stick in his hand to give protection to the cows. Purport. The specific function of a human being in society, irrespective of his social status, is to practice control of the mind and senses by observing the regulative principles enjoined in the Vedic Shastras. Lord Shiva is called Pashupati because he protects the living entities in their developed consciousness so that they may follow the Vedic system of Varna and Ashrama. The word Pashu refers to the animal as well as to the human entity. It is stated here that Lord Shiva is always interested in protecting the animals and the animalistic living entities who are not very advanced in the spiritual sense. It is also stated that the Brahmanas are produced from the mouth of the Supreme Lord. We should always remember that Lord Shiva is being addressed as the representative of the Supreme Lord, Vishnu. In the Vedic literature, it is described that the Brahmanas are born from the mouth of the universal form of Vishnu. The Kshatriyas are born from his arms, the Vaishyas from his abdomen or waist, and the Shudras from his legs. In the formation of a body, the head is the principal factor. The Brahmanas are born from the mouth of the Supreme Personality of Godhead in order to accept charity for worship of Vishnu and to spread Vedic knowledge. Lord Shiva is known as Pashupati, the protector of the Brahmanas and other living entities. He protects them from the attacks of non-Brahmanas or uncultured persons who are against the self-realization process. Another feature of this word is that persons who are simply attached to the ritualistic portion of the Vedas and do not understand the situation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead are not any more advanced than animals. In the beginning of Srimad Bhagavatam, it is confirmed that even though one performs the rituals of the Vedas, if he does not develop a sense of Krishna consciousness, then all his labor in performing Vedic rituals is considered to be simply a waste of time. Lord Shiva's aim in destroying the Daksha Yagya was to punish Daksha because by neglecting him, Lord Shiva, Daksha was committing a great offense. Lord Shiva's punishment was just like that of a cowherd boy who keeps a stick to frighten his animals. It is commonly said that to give protection to animals, a stick is needed because animals cannot reason and argue. Their reasoning and argument is argumentum ad baculum. Unless there is a rod, they do not obey. Force is required for the animalistic class of men, whereas those who are advanced are convinced by reasons, arguments, and scriptural authority. Persons who are simply attached to Vedic rituals without further advancement of devotional service or Krishna consciousness are almost like animals, and Lord Shiva is in charge of giving them protection and sometimes punishing them as he punished Daksha. Vidyata povratadaran mukatas vavipran brahmat matatvam avitum pratamam tvamasrak tad brahmanan paramasarva vipatsupasi pala pashun iva vibo pragrihita dandaha. My dear, great and powerful Lord Shiva, you were created first from the mouth of Lord Brahma in order to protect the Brahmanas in pursuing education, austerities, vows, and self-realization. As protector of the Brahmanas, you always protect the regulatory principles they follow, just as a cowherd boy keeps a stick in his hand to give protection to the cows. So who is the father of Daksha? And who is the father of Shiva? So that means they are brothers. So yesterday we spoke a little bit about Danda. I heard there is like Danda Shastra or something like that, and I couldn't find it. I was looking on the internet. What?
Dandaniti.
Maybe Dandaniti, okay. Where is this from?
I don't know, I heard it.
You heard?
Yeah. I did a seminar on Varnashram Rama and then they mentioned this.
Right. Which explains the significance of punishment in human society, and here this discussion is developed about punishment and why it is done and who is doing it, and so we see that Lord Shiva is doing this. So now, when we speak of protection, we usually speak about comforting someone or shielding someone. Protecting in different ways the protection is done. But we don't, when we speak about protection, we don't speak about protection as punishment. So, but punishment, maybe protection, like when you were small, maybe your father or mother would say, no, don't do this, or a little bit like this, like slap you a little bit so that you know if you try to do this, it's not good. You will get punished. And the parents punish the child because they want to protect the child. Like, for example, let me see. After 60 years, it's gone, but I had a scar from burns for probably 50 or 60 years of my life here, because when I was small, I wanted to touch the stove, which is hot in the winter, very hot, and my father, he didn't actually stop me. He probably told me, but he didn't scream or just make a big drama out of it. So he let me touch the stove and burn my fingers, and it was a heavy scar. It's not just a little scar; it's a big thing. It was quite visible on my fingers for so many years. I don't know, it disappeared somehow. Never noticed. So he didn't punish me to protect me, but he just let me get experience by making a mistake. So, and then when my mother saw that he let me do this, she got mad at him. So how can you let him do this? And of course I was crying because it was burning. So now, the other day I was saying that there is 3 kinds of people. First class intelligent people learn by hearing. Second class intelligent people learn by making mistakes and avoiding mistakes. And third class people, they don't learn even after making so many mistakes. So usually when I ask devotees which category you consider yourself to belong to, they say, well, unfortunately it's number 3. So after so many mistakes, after so many punishments, we still do the same, try to do the same things or try to enjoy it the same way, and still have to suffer. But somehow I think we are slowing down or reducing the amount of mistakes, maybe making them more rare. Instead of 10 times a year, now we are making it 5 times a year the same mistake. So Now, I think we're improving gradually. It's slow, but it's still some improvement, and reducing the mistakes. And if you get tired of suffering, then you say, okay, I'm fed up. I'm fed up. So let's say, remember, devotees' comments, they say, I want to get married. Then they try. It doesn't work. Either he doesn't like his wife or she doesn't like him. Then he says, okay, I tried the other one, another one. You try another one again. It doesn't work again. She doesn't like me, or I don't like her. We are fighting, we are quarreling. Or maybe third one will be better. Then try the third one. And again doesn't work. And it's very painful. And you are hurt, and maybe some of these three you get attached too much, and it's painful when she leaves you. And then slowly you're developing this apprehension or cautiousness, or you're thinking, well, I know, it's an attractive idea to get attracted to this woman and to have a relationship with her, but I have experienced already so many hard knocks, I have experienced already so much pain that I don't believe it will work. Although everything looks perfect, our charts are perfect, and we really understand each other even without talking. I mean, all these wonderful romantic things are there, but this is how usually it starts, very nice. And then the show starts after a few months or after a few years, where you realize that you have differences, huge differences, fundamental differences in understanding life and Krishna consciousness, and you start to really, really fight and hate each other. So there is this phenomena, you're attached to someone, but at the same time you hate them, because you cannot change them. So this is the love in the material world. Hatred and attachment. There is no love there. Just hatred and attachment. And people call this love. And they make movies about it, and they do amazing, they really advertise it. So we don't have enough intelligence to learn by hearing, so we have to learn by pain. We have to learn by pain. And so sometimes devotees ask me, why Krishna allows my wife to be so rude to me? So what do you think, why? You guess. Why is your wife rude to you?
Karma?
Huh?
Karma?
Karma, because of karma. Now, why is Krishna allowing this to happen to you? That's a more precise question. Why is Krishna allowing that this happens to you? You're a good guy, you're a nice guy, and so why is this happening? What is Krishna's purpose in allowing this to happen? That's a more precise question, yeah?
Free will of her also.
She has a free will? Okay, I have to ask even more precise question. What is lesson for you in this situation?
I have to learn to be not too attached.
What? Can you repeat again?
I have to learn to not be so attached.
Okay, so if somebody is rude to you, it's easier to not be so attached to that person, because somehow you're like this. Like, okay, well, if I approach this person, they will smash me or something. And after some time, by constantly being chastised or treated harshly, you develop some detachment. I remember in England, I was living near the Bhaktivedanta Manor in a small town, which is probably 20-minute walk or half an hour walk from the manor. And one night, it was probably around 10, 11, and I woke up because outside, under my window, I was in the building on the second floor, and not just under my window, but on the street, a little bit away from the building, maybe, I don't know, 10 meters or something, but it's so very near. Somebody was screaming like anything. And I tried to hear, and one woman, she was swearing like crazy. Swearing, you know, swearing. Very bad words. And she was swearing at her either husband or partner. She was just blasting him. And he was saying, honey, I love you. Honey, I love you. Honey, I love you. And police came because neighbors called the police because of such a noise in the middle of the night, 11 o'clock. And police came, and they still fighting in front of the police. They didn't stop. So he didn't give up. I mean, he was insulting him left and right and up and down and saying the worst swears that you can find in English language. I don't want to repeat even one word of it. And he was saying, honey, I love you. So he is either transcendental or crazy. So Srila Prabhupada describes this situation in his books in several places. He says that the he-ass is being kicked by she-ass, but because he wants sex from her, he tolerates these kicks and continues to have a romantic relationship with her. So sometimes even this situation where the partner is very harsh, very rude, doesn't actually make a person detached. So this is the the jungle of the material world, how it looks like. But sometimes punishment works, and it seems that in case of Daksha it worked. That punishment worked. And like for example, in my country, we like to eat hot, spicy food, like in India, even worse than in India. I mean, it's more spicy. So since in childhood, I have been eating different chilies, and I really like this even today. And then recently I read Srila Prabhupada speaks about chili, and he says this is complete tamoguna. He says this is not good and things like this. And then I stopped. And then also when I eat either ginger or chili, let's say not little but more than little, then I have kidney pain. I have kidney pain. So, and I still sometimes eat chili. I know that I will suffer, but the attraction to chili is so big. Then you have people who know that they will have lung cancer and they cannot stop smoking. So conditioned souls are so unfortunate that they cannot give up the habit that is killing them. Cannot give up the habit that is killing them. So sometimes people say, I mean, you tell people, I don't know, Christians preach this. We don't preach this usually. We have descriptions of hell that even I don't think Christians have. Because go to the 5th canto, chapter 26, description of the hellish planets. I mean, you have a variety of hells. Not one hell where you just burn. That's simple. But you have so many things. We have so many things, so many varieties of super, super heavy suffering and punishment. But nowadays people, they don't care. If you tell them, if you don't surrender to God or if you don't listen to me, you will go to hell. Then they say, I'm already living in hell. So how is hell? Okay, hell is dark. Yes, I'm living in the basement. In hell you starve. He said, yes, I have no food. In hell people are, harsh to each other. Yes, I experience this every day with my friends, with my wife. So I'm already in hell, so why should I be afraid of hell? And why should I chant Hare Krishna so that I don't go to hell? So have this argument. So therefore, devotees ask me, oh, I was preaching to this man that he is suffering, and he says, no, you are suffering. On this hot day, I'm drinking cold drinks in the restaurant, and you are walking with a bag of books and sweating and suffering like anything. So you are suffering, I'm not suffering. So I tell devotees, well, if you want to attract people, you have to show them that you are enjoying more than them. That you are more happy than them. Then they will take you seriously. They will be interested, how is he enjoying more than me? These Hare Krishnas are too happy. That's not good. And I want to be like them. So sometimes they join us jokingly or half drunk or something. But then when they join, they see that they have to do some tapasya and things like this. So I want to say that you cannot scare people with hell anymore, because this planet is quite hellish. Although in comparison to lower planets it's not so hellish, but still there is so many horrible things going on. And I think Krishna is exposing these things now in the media also, like for people trafficking and rapes and abusing children. So Krishna is exposing this so that we understand that we are living in a very, very dangerous place, a very hellish place. You don't see these things every day, but these things are going on. And especially rich people, they misuse their money in many, many ways. They're exploiting women and children, and engage people to work for them for small money, for nothing. So these things are going on, and therefore the need for the Krishna conscious movement is very great. So here it is said that Lord Shiva, he has actually appeared to protect the Brahmanas, and Brahmanas are the head of society. So what we need in this age is a lot of Brahmanas who will teach Vedic knowledge and who will support and protect people. We need also Kshatriyas to protect people. So you may say, but you said the other day, Kalau Shudra Sambhavaha, everyone is Shudra in Kali Yuga. Yes, everyone is Shudra in Kali Yuga, but Prabhupada says, you can change your Varna by training. Like before Bhakti Yoga, we were very unclean, and now we are taking a shower every day, minimum once a day. We were taking a shower once a month. We were taking a shower once a week maybe, but not every day. But nowadays, when we are in Krishna consciousness, we are taking a shower every single day. So that's a Brahminical habit. Even for Brahman, it is said 2 or 3 times a day to have to take a shower, but sometimes it's impractical. You take a shower in the morning, you go on Sankirtan, come back, take another shower. So then you don't need to take a 3rd shower, but 2 showers or 1 shower. So Srila Prabhupada taught us Brahminical principles and turned hippies into Brahmanas, or punks into Brahmanas, who are becoming, or who are spiritual authorities, and teaching people these principles. So this world needs a head, and you have an opportunity to become a head of society. You have an opportunity to become a trusted guide of people. You are learning Vedic knowledge, you are learning principles of cleanliness, austerity, charity, and you can, by your example, you can actually help people. You can help people. And you can please Krishna by this, and you can make spiritual advancement by this. It's not only for them, it's also for you. Shri Gaur Nitaya ki jai, Jagannath Baladev Subhadra ki jai. So maybe you're young, maybe you're still not very serious, you're not sure you want to stay in Krishna consciousness, you're not sure if you can be a preacher, you can be a spiritual guide, but you can try it. You can try and see if you like it, and see how it affects your heart and your feelings and your whole well-being. But Krishna is offering us the highest position in the universe, like the position that Narada Muni has, traveling and preaching, going around preaching, or staying in one place and cultivating people and helping people to grow, to develop their Krishna consciousness. So we have an opportunity to do the highest service, which is connecting people to Krishna and preaching Krishna consciousness, training people. And we shouldn't take it, as Prabhupada says, insignificantly or cheaply. This is a great, great mercy to get this opportunity to preach and to be a good example for people and to care for people. So please take this opportunity and develop yourself as a responsible member of ISKCON. Take responsibility. Maybe you don't feel like you can preach non-stop, but you can help preaching. You can manage things so that preaching is going on and worship is going on, and you can make a wonderful contribution by taking responsibility in the mission and make spiritual advancement yourself also. And the Srila Prabhupada said, okay, give this one life. You have had so many lifetimes, give this one life to Krishna. Just make an experiment. So thank you very much for listening. Do you have any questions? So the next is 15. Okay. Yes?
I found these different shastras for Dandaniti. It's Kautilya Alta Shastra.
What's it called?
Kautilya
Kautilya.
Alta Shastra.
Kautilya Artha Shastra.
Viduraniti.
Kautilya is Chanakya. I think
Yeah.
it's another name for Chanakya Pandit. So maybe this is in Chanakya Niti Shastra. Yeah.
In the seminar was called Dandaniti, Science of Politics, and then they mentioned different syllabus, like also Danurveda.
Danurveda is Kshatriya, science of fighting.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, so this is connected to punishment also. I mean, Kshatriyas sometimes have to punish people. So thank you. I will look it up also. Or is it a link somewhere or a link?
A PowerPoint. I can send you.
Yeah, please send me. Do you have Facebook maybe?
Yeah.
My Facebook is Gita Seva, and my email is gitaseva108@gmail.com. So you can maybe send me there. I would appreciate it. Thank you. Okay. Any other comment or question about anything? Okay, thank you. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.